Many of you are probably familiar with Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And at the bottom of that need is our physical needs, the need to have food and clothing and shelter. Then we get to our safety needs, the need to feel safe and secure and have freedom. And then it moves up to the need to feel love and belonging and to have relationships and friendships. And then it moves up to the esteem need, the need to have respect and status and recognition and strength. And finally, the peak of Maslow's hierarchy of needs is self-actualization. And in fact, when you think of Christian camping, one of the power of Christian camping is when kids come here, they don't know if those needs are going to be met. And within the first 24 hours, they realize that they're going to be well fed and they're going to have a good place to sleep. They realize that this is a safe place and that is secure and they're given freedoms. And then they realize that they have a counselor in a small group that they're part of that is going to love them and take care of them and develop trust and connection. And then it gets up to the esteem needs. In the first afternoon when they're shooting archery and they score their bullseye, or they are scared to death on the edge of the zip line and all their friends applaud them and cheer them on, and they go down there, they feel that need of recognition and respect of their peers. And then we get to the final part, which is self-actualization. The power of Christian camping is that they begin to understand who they are and who God is. And all those distractions of the world of safety, security, relationships, and esteem are gone, so that the one thing you need to think about is that. And that's the power of Christian camping, to come on a retreat together. I want to tell you about a young man who came to camp, and he came through Angel Tree Ministries or Prison Fellowship Ministries. And so he has an incarcerated parent, and he came to camp, and he was having a good time, meeting a lot of new people. Counselors were loving him and caring for him. But every night that junior high camp would do an activity where they would write on a t-shirt or they would have some task to do. And every night he wasn't doing that. Until finally one counselor or staff member noticed the situation where this young man wasn't participating. So he says, "Hey, why aren't you participating with these activities after worship?" And we learned that he couldn't read and he couldn't write. And then we realized what a sad situation that this young man is facing. And if we're without a doubt, if you look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs throughout his life, he was missing a lot of those. But that counselor says, "Well, let me help you." And we thought, man, what is he going to get out of this week if he's missing so much because he can't read and he can't write? But then we remembered the Word of God, and the promise is this: faith comes through hearing, and hearing from the Word of God. At the end of that week, believe it or not, this young man gave his life to Christ and was baptized, and camp became a big thing for him, as well as Jesus did for the rest of his life. I have a picture here of two counselors that have the arm around this young man, and I want you to notice one thing about these counselors. They're not cool college kids. They're mature, wise leaders that invested in this young man and changed his life. I ask the question often, what if no one had invited him to camp? What if no one had paid his way? And what if he didn't have loving counselors that invested in him and loved him from where he was to where he needed to be? I encourage you to allow your student to participate in camp programs like this that change their lives, or those students around you that you might know. Or maybe you would consider helping bridge the gap and loving students and become a counselor here at Woodland Lakes. But keep us in the prayer as we look forward to what this camp season has in store for the many students, just like this one I told you about, that's going to come and have a life-changing experience. Thank you.